Good day, and thank you for checking out our presentation on the Army Reserve. As you can see on the screen, this is meant to be a basic overview of service in the Reserve. We will develop and post more in-depth content at a later date based on your questions and feedback in the comments section. As far as our agenda on this presentation is concerned, we will touch on joining the Army Reserve, going off to basic training, finding out what AIT and OJT are, drilling with your unit, pay, advancing, retiring, and finally summarizing what was presented. Next, we're going to talk about joining the Army Reserve. As you can see, there are three categories of soldier, and this applies to the Army National Guard and active duty Army as well. To join, though some positions may have additional qualifications, in general, you must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident alien, 17 to 34 years old, healthy and in good physical condition, and in good moral standing. The three categories of soldiers. On the upper right-hand side, you see the non-commissioned officers, or NCOs, or enlisted soldiers, as they're also called. They are your trainers, teachers, and technical and tactical professionals. In the middle, you have the warrant officers. They are your subject matter experts, and their ranks go from the warrant officer 1 all the way up to chief warrant officer 5. And finally, you have the commissioned officer. They are your managers or planners, and their ranks go from second lieutenant all the way up to general. Basic requirement to become a commissioned officer is that you must have a bachelor's degree, not necessarily at the start of the process, but by the time you're commissioned. A degree is not required to be either a non-commissioned or warrant officer. Next, moving on to basic training. Basic combat training, which is also known as boot camp, is an immersive introduction to service in the Army. Here you learn the traditions, tactics, and methods of soldiering. Aside from grooming standards, how to properly wear the uniform, and how to march, you'll learn how to work as a member of a team to accomplish tasks. Each category has its own route to become trained. As you see, enlisted soldiers go to the boot camp, and it's approximately 10 weeks depending on the military occupational specialty, or MOS, that the soldier chooses or is assigned when they enlist. Commissioned officers, this takes weeks or years to become fully trained. If you're in the military right now, enlisted soldiers can go to Officer Candidate School, or OCS. If you're not in the military, there are three routes. You can get a direct commission. This is available to non-military professionals in certain career fields. Some examples are like lawyers or even some of the medical specialties. There is the Reserve Officer Training Corps, or ROTC. That's where you get a college degree and complete basic combat training and OCS. And then finally, you can go to the Military Academy at West Point. That's where you earn a 4-year degree while you're in an immersive military environment. Warrant officers go to Warrant Officer Candidate School. It's usually enlisted soldiers after attaining a certain level of proficiency that go to Warrant Officer Candidate School, although some warrant officer specialties allow you to become one without being enlisted first. After graduating from basic training, you will undergo 2 additional phases of training known as advanced individual training, where you will learn the job skills required of your trade, and on-the-job training, or OJT, where you put your skills into practice. And once you've received all necessary training to be fully functional in your role, you'll return home and start drilling. This is where you work with the unit you were assigned or joined when you enlisted or joined the Army Reserve, And it's usually 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. So that would be a Friday and Saturday, Saturday and Sunday, Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday. There's a whole multitude of ways that you'll have a drill weekend, but it's based on your unit's training schedule. When we talk about drill pay, there are some definitions. There's the unit training assembly, or UTA. One UTA equals 4 hours of actual work, and it is equal to 1 day of active duty pay. The MUTA, or multiple unit training assembly, equals more than 4 hours of work. Now, if you take your typical drill weekend, that's 16 hours of work, 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday. That's a MUTA 4. So every 4 hours is one MUTA, and you get paid for 4 days of active duty pay. So your pay rate is dependent on years of service and rank, and there's a link there for you to check out those pay tables. You're usually paid approximately 10 days after the training weekend is over. Bottom line on this slide is that for every 4 hours of work you do on a drill weekend, you are paid a full day of active duty pay at your rank. Move on to some benefits. These are just some examples of the bonuses which may be available to you. Um, you're going to want to check with your local Army Reserve recruiter. They'll have the most up-to-date information, be able to let you know what you might qualify for. As you can see, the types of bonuses, there's the enlistment bonus, which is obviously for joining the military. Prior service, there's bonuses if you served in the military before and you're wanting to join back up. There's the quick ship bonus, which is for going to basic combat training within 7 weeks of signing your contract. Re-enlistment, offered for continuing service after your initial contract is up. Student loan repayment program, that gives you money towards your current outstanding college debt. And there are officer and warrant officer accessions bonuses, which are either a cash bonus or student loan repayment program bonus. Again, all these have different amounts, availability, and qualifications that you need to qualify for them. So you're going to want to check with your local reserve recruiter to get the up-to-date information. Moving on to some other benefits. As with the previous slide, these are just some examples of the benefits which may be available to you. There are numerous benefits and programs available to help you further your education, and oftentimes these will allow you to get your education without costing you any money out of pocket. Another huge benefit is the almost unheard of low-cost health care. Many civilian employer-sponsored health plans have deductibles in the $6,000 to $15,000 plus range, in addition to higher monthly premiums. And as you can see on the screen here, calendar year 2022, single soldier, $46 a month, family coverage, $229 a month. Deductibles range from $56 to about $330. These based on rank, and then catastrophic cap of $1,120. There are many ways to fast track your career. You can assume leadership roles and responsibilities, earn promotions, accept appointments as a commissioned officer, or become a warrant officer. As far as retirement is concerned, once you complete 20 years or more of qualifying service, you're eligible for pension pay at age 60. That is for the Army Reserve and Army National Guard. If you do 20 straight years of active duty, then you can start collecting your pension right away. once you've completed that. So you might be as young as, say, 38 years old. If you graduate from high school and join in the military right away, you can start collecting an active duty pension at age 38. For the reserve and the guard, qualifying or creditable service year, soldiers in the reserve or National Guard must earn 50 points per year to equal a creditable or good year. And 15 points are awarded simply for being active in the Army Reserve. Drill weekends, you get the 1 UTA, unit training assembly, that we saw on a previous slide. That equals 1 point. So on a typical drill weekend, which is a Saturday, Sunday, a MUTA 4, you get 4 points. And annual training, that's when you do that 2 weeks a year time frame. That's 1 actual active duty day. So you get 1 active duty day equals 1 point. And for retirement, in the Army's blended retirement program, soldiers are able to contribute to thrift savings plan, which is a 401k type retirement plan. All right, to sum up, we briefly talked about joining the Army Reserve, its rank structure, training highlights, and benefits. We thank you for your time and encourage you to reach out with questions. You can either post them in the comments below or connect with us on the social media sites listed on the screen.